because I did higher level, it was a little bit of a jump for me to try and catch up with everything, but film is a subject that you kind of take by choice and you enjoy doing, so really it wasn't that difficult for me to catch up on it, and I think anyone can do it. When you're involved in practical and you're using the programs that we use every day, you end up learning on your own quite quickly.
I think it was an advantage doing GCSE Media Studies because I gathered up a lot of experience from it, and the courses aren't that different. It's just this time it's more focused on film rather than media in general.
I think it was an advantage that I did GCSE Media Studies because I learnt a lot about analysing film, and you get used to it after lots of practice, and you learn a lot of media terminology which becomes useful to you.
Well, for film studies, for our end of year assessment, we don't have an exam, so throughout the year we're tested on different things. We have a presentation that's worth 25% of our marks, a final film that we have to produce in groups, in class and out of class time, which is 50%, and the other 25% goes from our independent study.
There isn't an exam per se, like you sit down and write down answers, because you can't really exam someone like that in film. But you know, there's extensive practical work that you have to do and write-ups and stuff. But it's all good fun. It's good stuff.
I think it's much better than doing an exam, and I see it as a benefit that there is no exam because it feels much more easier and less nerve-wracking.
You have 25% independent study, which is basically making your own documentary about a question that you devise yourself. 25% presentation, where you analyse 2 films, if you're a standard student anyway, and 50% final production, where you actually get out and productively make a film.
I don't think you necessarily have to bring any skills to the course. If you've done GCSE Media, sometimes that could help just from background information, but a lot of people have got along just fine without it, and you just have to be open-minded and learn to start assessing the films in class and just learn new techniques of how to film.
What the skills you have to bring are, you just have to be pretty creative in how you approach a subject itself in the filmmaking that you do, your personal projects, and you have to be open to different ideas and other people's opinions towards certain works of directors.
I think you need to be ready to work quite hard, because not so much working hard as it is time consuming, because it's a process that requires, making a film is an art, and art requires, hard work, and it requires some sort of inspiration. So you have to have ideas, creativity, and perseverance to succeed.
You have to bring commitment and time management, because if you really have to commit a lot of your own time to the course, as a lot of it is outside school when you're doing your productions anyway. So you have to be able to manage time.
The skills that you develop, first of all, you learn editing skills if you haven't edited before. You learn new camera skills, and you develop these throughout the course. You can develop your directing skills. You get a better understanding of how to position your actors in the lighting, what editing techniques work particularly well with certain scenes.
I think you definitely develop throughout the course the skill to analyse film without thinking about it. As soon as I started the course, I now always think about what the director was thinking or why everything is put into the mise-en-scene of a shot, and I never used to do that before, and I think it's good because instead of just sitting back and watching a movie, you can be interested in why everything's happening.
I developed presentation skills, speaking in front of a class about the film extract, as well as using Final Cut.
In the course, you generally develop group working skills, how to work with other people and coordinate your time properly. Time management is another thing you'll learn. Programs, how to use Final Cut Pro, Final Cut Express, video editing, video capturing, using the camera and all the gear. It's good fun.
It is very time consuming, and if you're going to make a proper, well-made production and all your other pieces too, you have to commit a lot of time for your own. And so I actually find it quite a struggle fitting all my work in with film on top. And you have to understand that it's not the easiest thing, and you do have to understand that it's a lot of work, and it's not like media where it's a bit easier. It's very focused and you have to spend a lot of time on it.
Generally, I think the best thing for me, what I do is I separate my filmmaking from other school homework, so to speak. So I'll allocate like a weekend to go out and filming, so you just give yourself a full proper day, like today I'm going to film, and you don't try to make other plans and stuff like that today. You set a day for it and you go out and do it. And that's how we've been making our film. So I mean, it is time consuming, but if you allocate your time properly, you can get it done.
You have to just use your lunch times and after school. But then I don't mind doing it because it's something I made and it's my own work, which I like doing.
So you do have to dedicate a lot of your free time and your lunch times and after school, and also your weekends to do this course. But I find that it's beneficial to do this because there is no exam, and I feel that I would rather be working at home than doing an exam.
I think if it's something that you're interested in, you can sort out your priorities, and I think this is quite an interesting subject, and even though you learn a lot, it's also quite fun to film and to analyze films, so I think you can fit it in. It does take a lot of time, but it's worth it.
Higher level, you have more classes a week and more is expected of you, obviously, because you're learning. You have more time to learn than the standard level students. But they're both pretty challenging courses because with higher, you're expected to know more, but with standard, you have less time to learn what is expected of you in that subject. So both are quite challenging, but I mean, higher is just, obviously, it's just the same stuff, but a little bit extended.
Standard level have to produce a 5-minute film at the end of the course, whereas higher level have to produce 7 minutes. And higher level have a 15-minute presentation, whereas standard level have a 12-minute presentation.
Higher students have more lessons, but in those lessons they also have a lot more work to do. Each presentation that we're required to do for higher, we have to do a few more minutes than the standard students, and also in our final film we have to make a trailer, whereas the standard students don't. So in our group we make a group film, but we all have to make our own trailer for it.
Well, I'm taking standard level, and with standard we basically do the same thing as the highers, except less of it. So all the marking is exactly the same, but they just have to maybe analyze more films or have a longer production piece. Little things like that.